Hello again, welcome to my channel Professor Learn More. This is the second video of the Year 2 New Curriculum Spelling List, when we are looking at the common exception spelling words for Year 2. The previous videos were about the Year 1 common exception words. Common exception words, I'm sure you remember, sometimes called tricky words, keywords, high frequency, irregular words. Depends really on the school that your child goes to or that you go to if you're the pupil. Now, sitting comfortably, as always, the words we looked at in our previous video for Year 2, the first one, were these words: door, pour, find, mind, floor. You can see some spelling patterns there, because, which I've written more neatly there, and kind. Do you remember the way to remember the spelling of because? One way that you might be shown is big elephants can always understand small elephants. We are writing in a cursive style because muscle memory handwriting in a cursive style has been shown to help spelling, help you learn these difficult spelling patterns through repeated handwriting. And explained in my previous video, the handwriting does need to be joined. That's cursive rather than precursive or unjoined, where the letters are written in isolation. Anyway, let's continue because there are a lot of words to get through in the Year 2 Common Exception spelling word lists. So, after kind, you might well notice that we have a pattern here in the word kind, because the next word is behind. So, let's make a start with that. Starting on the line always, nearly touching the line above, holding our pen like this, of course. Back down. Bounce back up. Curve to the right. Back to the start. Now we flick or hook to the letter E. Up to make the letter H. I haven't done that join particularly pleasingly actually. Bounce back up to curve round to the right, down to our line, back up to form the letter I, back to the line, up, and we're forming the letter N now. Flick or hook to form the letter D. A bit like the letter A, go back on ourselves here, back to the line, up, but we continue above, keeping level with the B and the H, back down, and lead out like that. Lift and dot the I. So, our look, cover, write and check method is we look at the words, say the letters B, E, H, I, N, D, cover. Now, I always recommend saying them again in your mind, B, E, H, I, N, D, then trying to write them. So you might wish to pause the video at this point if you're trying this at home or in the classroom. And once you've written the word, you lift your hand and check. And if you didn't get it quite right, then have another go. And repeated practice will help. Our next word, and as you can see, that does follow the spelling pattern of kind, which was the previous word. Our next word is the word whole. So we start with the W on the line, up, slope down to the right, slope up to the right, slope down to the right, slope back up to the right again, and we lead out with a hook or flick to make the letter H, which is going to be level with the similar letters in the previous word. Bounce back up, over to the right, down to the line, and here we are going to make the letter O, curve round. At that point we go back on ourselves, making a nice circle, complete the circle, lead or flick, hook out to form the letter L, which will be level with the H, back to the line, and we make the letter E, and lead out. Our next word is the word any. On the line we form the letter A, Again, this is an irregular high frequency word. And here we have a chance to form the letter Y. Curve to the left, loop, diagonally to the right, and lift. Now, our next two words would be child and wild, and as you can see, they have a similar spelling pattern. So, child. Starting on the line, form the letter C, similar to form the letter O, because we go back on ourselves, form a circle, but of course we don't complete the circle. We go up here to form the letter H. Up, almost to the line above, down, bounce back up, curve over to the right, back down to the line, keeping all our letters the same width, if you can. Form the letter I, back down, we'll dot this at the end of the word, up to form the letter L, which will be level with the H, back down on ourselves, and now we form the letter D, which is formed similar to the letter A, but of course we go up, level with the H and the L, back down and lead out with our hook or flick, lift, go back and dot the I. Now, as you're expecting, the next word is the word wild, which is the same spelling pattern. Starting on the line, slope down to the right, slope up to the right, slope down to the right, slope up to the right, and then hook or flick here, going to form the letter I, down, up to form the letter L, similar pattern to child, back down on ourselves, so there's only one line there, forming the letter D. Trying to be consistent in our letter size, lift and dot the I. Now, our next word is the word most, like most of us like playtime. So starting on the line, form the letter N, bounce back up, curve over to the right, back down to the line, form the letter O, go backwards on ourselves anti-clockwise to form a complete circle. Now we're forming the letter S, so we stop at that point, go back on ourselves as we often do with many letters such as O, C, A and D, but this time we make a snake-like shape, S for snake, and at that point we don't lift our pen, but we continue back on ourselves to make a hook or flick, lead out to form the letter T, keeping that level with the L and the D of the previous word, back down, lead out, lift and cross. Our next word is the word both. Starting on the line, form the letter B, up to the top, back down, bounce back up, and when we're halfway up the line, we start to curve round to the right. We keep going so we form a nice round shape, back to the almost at the starting point, lead out, going to form the letter O. There we are. That's a very familiar shape, but we go back on ourselves, nicely round, complete the circle, lead out, forming the letter T. So this needs to be level with the B, down, up and form the letter H now. Level with the T, back down, bounce back up, and level with the O, we curve to the right, back down to the line and lead out with a hook or flick, lift and cross. So we have our nice T now. Now, the next word is a bit more complicated. It's the word children, such as there are 30 children in my class. So, as ever, starting on the line, we form the letter C, curve to the right, which is familiar for many letters, back on ourselves, but we don't complete a circle because this is not the letter O. We go over to the right, up towards the top, but not quite touching the line, back down carefully, bounce back up, curve to the right, back to the line, so we've made the letter H, continue to make the letter I, which we'll dot later, but it's the same height as the C, and now we go up to form the letter L, back down on ourselves, back to the right, so the next letter is going to be the letter D, that's right. So we curve that round, a bit like the letter A, go back on ourselves, up, back down, so you can see we've got the word child so far, but we don't lift, we continue to make the letter R. Bounce back up and over. We're going to form the letter E. Back to the line, up, down, bounce back up, curve to the right, down to the line, lift, go back, and remember to dot the I. So here's an opportunity to check our spelling of this word. So look at those letters, C-H-I-L-D, we have child, children, 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 R-E-N. So cover, C-H-I-L-D-R-E-N. So keeping the word covered, you could pause the video at this point and then try and write that yourself, and then you would lift, check, and see whether or not how close you were. Now our next word is the word climb. Starting on the line, form the letter C, L, I, M, finishing with a B, which is not what one would perhaps expect, but that's the last letter of the word climb. And lead out with hook or flick, lift, and remember to dot the I. So we're trying to be consistent with our letter size. If you look at these lowercase letters, there are no capitals, so every letter in the word is joined in the cursive join style. Trying to keep these the same size. Right, our next word, we've got time for a few more, is the word only. So starting on the line, even though it's the letter O, curve round to the right. We're almost halfway to the next line. Stop at that point, we go back, create a nice round circle, complete circle at that point, lead out to the next letter, which is the letter N. You probably remember that the letters O and R, we always lead out near the top of the letter. The letter L nearly goes to the top, back down very neatly on ourselves, and now it's the letter Y. Down below the line, curve or loop to the left, and then cross over diagonally here and lift. Nothing to dot across. Next word is the word many. So the letter M. And any point you want to pause the video, that might be helpful. The letter A. The letter N. Like how many pencils do you have in that box? And the letter Y. Down below the line, loop to the left, a bit like on the Y there, well, identical hopefully. Diagonally lift, and we've got the word many. And our last word for this particular video is going to be the word clothes. Like, each day I have to wear my school clothes. So starting on the line, C, L, O. Remember, now we go back, complete the circle, form the letter T now. Now the letter H. Bounce back up, curve to the right, form the letter E, and form the letter S to finish. So it's a bit like the O and the C back on ourselves, but here we have that snake-like shape, loop, and lead out with a flick or hook, lift, and remember to cross to make that into a T. Thank you for listening and watching this second video for Year 2, Common Exception Words.